my neck!
How's it feel now?
All right.
That's good.
Hey everyone, I'm Kevin. For those of you who don't know me, I'm the Atlanta Koi Club Vice President, and my wonderful wife, who you can't see, is doing the filming. Thank you very much, Rhonda. So we're going to talk about our pond netting and what got us to what you see and what I'm going to describe for you today. So the reason why you see this is for really one reason and one reason only, and it's because of the blue heron. We've had a number of fish lost through the years, and over many cups of coffee in the morning, I mulled this thing over and just thought that this was going to be the best option for us. And since we've put this up roughly a year and a half ago, number one, we haven't seen the blue heron, and number two, we haven't lost any fish. So something obviously worked out in our favor. So we want you to know too that we've tried a number of things. We've tried the what they call the scarecrow. If any of you use that, it's a 9-volt contraption that you hook up to your water hose, and when it senses motion, it scatters water to and from. That didn't help us at all. Matter of fact, I think all that did was just gave the heron a nice water bath. So the other option we tried was just the bird netting, the pond netting, and really all that is it's a deterrent, but it's really a challenge when you're trying to get leaves and pine straw. And besides, it takes really two people to take that off, and to get it out of the way so you can enjoy the pond, etc. So that was another one. And the most recent one that we tried before we got to the netting that you see here is the fishing line. So I went out and bought a spool of 20-pound tests, 20-pound fishing line, test line. And I had this thing so zigzagged, I figured it was Fort Knox. Nobody was getting in here. And I too quickly patted myself on the back. And somehow, some way, the blue heron was able to get his head at an angle and snatched another fish. So doggone it, I said, man, what can I do to get control of the situation? So got online, did some researching, and came across what I thought was going to be a decent idea, and that's the mosquito netting that you see here. So what we've got is mosquito netting, 3 different panels, and it's 5 feet, 5.5 feet tall, and it's held together with these zip ties. And we've got this steel galvanized cable running all the way through each one of the Douglas fir 4x4 foot poles that you see, or posts that you see. And each panel is attached by these stainless steel marine grade snaps that you can just pop off, free, and just slide it like a shower curtain. And that way you've got quick access to your pond. And back panel does the same, the side panel does the same. And you can really, just for information purposes, I'll open up this side so you can see. Again, 3 snaps, and it just slides. Nest camera, if you want to catch all the action when you're not around, which is connected to Wi-Fi. Fortunately, the Wi-Fi is pretty good out here, so no problems with that. But one thing that I want to point out that I did wrong, that you guys could benefit from if you choose to do something like this, is that number one, I would get away from pine posts. Pine are not as durable and dense as the Douglas fir or cedar. So I would definitely choose a harder wood like the fir. And what I immediately that I'll point out what I did wrong is I put these at a perfect vertical position. And really, to make this work correctly, is tilt each one of these about 5 to 10 degrees back away from each other, so that when you start ratcheting these steel cables down, it can bend it more towards an upright position. So that's a little bit why you see the sagging here. And I've tried to control that by this counterpoint cable that I've got drilled into the ground here. So that helps control some of the some of the sagging. But overall, I mean, it's worked out for us. So just remember, if you do decide to do this, tilt those posts back away from each other, and you should see some better results. And Rhonda's telling me to do what now?
Talk about the space here for the birds to get out in case the birds get in between.
If you want the birds to be able to get in and out, make sure and keep a little bit of space between
the top
here
net
and your sail net. We had
birds would get in through the bottom and get trapped.
Yeah.
And this way they can fly out.
Exactly. So and especially with that, that's a great point. So with that pond netting, I couldn't tell you how many times we'd come out in the morning and have to free either frogs who were trapped in the net, baby birds, adult birds. So that, although it did, that netting, that pond netting did protect, and it does help protect from some predators, namely the blue heron, but boy, at some cost. There's a couple of birds that just didn't make it. So this way, at least you've got some areas for things, birds to escape, and just enough protection so that it makes it. It's certainly not foolproof for blue heron or other predators, but thus far this is the best thing that we found that works. So if you have any questions, message me at my email address, which I'll put on the screen here in a second. And other than that, can you think of anything else? Okay. Hope that helps. And any questions, let me know. Thanks. Hey everyone, Kevin again. So Rhonda and I are going to talk briefly about our Bakki shower. And for those of you who are just learning like we are, that the Bakki shower is great in reducing ammonia, nitrites, and you can achieve that at a relatively low cost if if money is a factor. DIY, just get it done. So a couple things we want to talk about first is that the pump that's taking all the water out and dumping it into the top of the Bakki shower. It starts in our skimmer, and this pipe here goes all the way down to our bottom drain, and that's where the pump is pulling from. So it's getting all the water from the bottom, which is great. And what's pulling that is a relatively inexpensive $169 Pariah, and it's spelled P-E-R-I-H-A. Pariah 14,000 is the model number. And again, about $165, $170 for the pump. And a couple of cool things about it is it's a variable speed, so you can do slow, medium, fast if that's how you gauge it. But at least it gives you the flexibility to, you know, if you need more water pumped into the Bakki shower, then you can do it. Or if you want to decrease it, that's great too. So I'm gonna shout out, give a big shout out to two of our friends, Atlanta Koi Club members, Cynthia and Richard Landon, who introduced us to a super cool, really inexpensive device that helps that really helps control not only our main pond pump, but the pump going to the Bakki shower. And if you follow me, we'll show you how this little device works. So I'm gonna lift this super heavy rock. You ready? All right, here we go. Oh yeah, it just comes right up. Oh, there it is right there. So this little cool contraption is a wireless outlet. You got two outlets on there, and what are you guys doing? They're here to help. They're going to show you the device as well. So basically, our main pump and the Bakki shower pump are fed from this right here, and works off an app on your phone. And I'll just pull this right up. So this goes to our Bakki shower. This is to our main pond pump. So whenever we're ready to clean the Bakki shower, or if we're just feeding the fish, we'll show you real quick just for information purposes. So as you can see, it shuts off the main pump, and that's beneficial to us, so we can more easily feed the fish. The food's not scattered into the skimmer, and I mean, that in itself was worth the $35 or so that thing cost. So super cool. And we'll move on to the Bakki shower. We'll turn the pond pump back on, and as you can see, the water's flowing again. So Cynthia and Richard, you rock. Thanks a lot. You know, Madeline. All right, Madeline is she's. Am I going to put you in there? Yep. Here we go. All right, here we go. Okay, so the pond, the Pariah pump is hidden under the forsythia bushes back there, and we've got an underground pipe, flexible PVC, buried under here. And as you can see, it surfaces here. This is $180 on Amazon if this is up your alley. So right here's where we got the PVC pipe coming up, and if you can look under here, you've got where the water is being pumped out. So this little mesh screen is just your typical window screen that just helps control splashing. And one of the things we learned very quickly, and boy was I a dummy when I first made this thing, and I don't recall if anybody, if I saw this when we were going through the whole DIY thing about the Bakki showers. They may have discussed it, but I just don't recall about an overflow pipe. And boy, we learned our lesson pretty quickly. Is this right here is the outlet for the overflow. And what we ran into was that we had a lot of debris that collected here in a matter of a couple of days, and the whole top tub was overflowing, and you know, the pump doesn't know that, so it's just going to keep pumping water to it, and it almost turned into a disaster situation. So if you're doing this Bakki shower, strongly recommend doing some type of overflow contraption, so that when the water gets too high, it will flow back down into the pond and prevent just a disaster situation. So all of this, these totes, super inexpensive, Home Depot. Look, each one of these you're looking at about $7. And what I've done, if you can zoom in right here, you can probably see this one. Yeah, yep, right there, that hole. So what I've done is I've drilled maybe 40 to 50 holes in each one of these, the top and the bottom of these totes, so that when the water's coming out through the exit pipe here, that it evenly distributes all through each one of the totes. So what I've got down here that you can't see is it's full of lava rock, and it just whatever works best for you. But lava rock seems to be a pretty good media. It's got some good surface area, but not as good as the ceramic media that we have that's completely filled in each of these two totes. So if you're going to do the Bakki shower, strongly recommend spending the extra money and getting some decent ceramic media, because there's really nothing like it that out there that has such a large area for bacteria to grow on. So it really took a couple months for us to really see some of the remnants of the good bacteria growing on the media, but it's clearly evident now, and so we're super excited, and just one extra thing to help control the ammonia and the nitrites. So let me reach for my phone here, and again, all we got to do is, if we need to clean the Bakki shower, just pull up our app and turn this thing off, and as you can see, it shuts it completely off. So from this point, I can take out this top bin, but I would first want to undo the excuse me, Madeline. What I would want to do is, I don't have this glued in, and there's a reason why I don't. That way, because and it's securely in there. It's not coming loose easily. So I'll have to hold this tote, pull this out to be able to remove this one tote. Let me get by you, Madeline. And here we go. Are you curious? You want to see in here? Huh? So from here we can pull this tote out, and I'll show you just very quickly. Take these out, put those there. This is our screen to help control some of the splash. Take this loose, and you can see that I would hold that and then pull that out to get this loose. But I'm not going to take it out just yet. But as you can see, it catches a lot of the stuff off the bottom, and fortunately I just cleaned this morning, so there's not a lot of debris on there. But the cool thing about this screen is that you just pull this right out, shake it off. Sometimes so hopefully I didn't get Rhonda. I'll pay for that later. But you can just hose this off and stick this back in there. And also we've got to help catch some more detailed poop and more of the fine stuff, a lot of the algae and stuff like that, is this 1.5 inch fine white filter media. So anyway, that you want to catch as much as possible before it gets to your ceramic media, you really just want water coursing down through that. So put this back in there, and again, thanks to Cynthia and Richard Landon, my life, our life is a lot easier with this cool little contraption. Hit the Bakki shower and it will start pumping back, and we'll take this. Here it comes. Blah, blah. Take this guy, slap that over. Put that in there. Take our little clips, hold it in place. That. And where'd my other one go? Right here. And we're back in action. So, and Rhonda's trying to whisper something very important to me. So, yes. So, got a good bit of this this idea from none other than super intelligent Michael Anderson, Atlanta Koi Club member. So, of course, I'll be happy to answer any questions you guys have. If you want to message me, I'll put the email address on there if you want to message me later. But if you really want to know about denitrification, there's other Atlanta Koi Club members out there, namely Michael Anderson, that can really explain. He's written a number of super detailed papers on it. And anytime we've asked Michael through, whether it be Facebook, email, whatever, he's been more than gracious and quick to answer questions. So, yeah, big shout out to Michael Anderson. Thank you very much. Anyway, hope you guys learned something from this, and have a great day. Thanks a lot.
How's it feel now?
All right.
That's good.